Hey, it's Gavin Syme again with my Lightroom series, trying to make Lightroom as fast and easy as possible. In this video, we're going to look at what to do with photos once you've imported them in Lightroom. You have a catalog, you've imported some photos, and there's a lot of things you could do that we could do whole workshops on. But I'm going to give you a very quick start of just how to jump in quickly and sort and organize those photos before we actually go into more deeper. Here's the catalog that we created, and we have some photos we've imported in it. Okay, but now what do? We can click and select. We can go up here and we could filter those by different attributes or different metadata, the type of camera, the lens that we used. Now, these are probably not the first things you're going to need if you just started. So I'm gonna hit the backslash and get rid of that. I can also bring up that metadata slash search bar by doing Control or Command F, which allows you to search for a photo or a tag or a metadata, as well as access these up here. Now, if we go down to the bottom here, and you can see that we can show and hide the thumb strip right here. If you want to sort or rearrange the images, you can bring up the toolbar. That's with the T key. And bear in mind, all of these bars and menus that are collapsible and things, you can find from the view menu and kind of turn things on and off. But it is good to remember the shortcuts. In the toolbar, you can do things like sort them and things like that. You can do comparisons, although you can also just do the C key. If you have two photos selected, you can quickly compare those photos. Let's go through and rate a couple of photos though. Let's say we were going through, and this is a very mixed batch of images, right? But let's say I was going through here and I could look at the thumbnails to kind of do a grid edit and go through them. You can see that I have no filters applied down here. So I could filter and say only show me stars, only show me color labels, but none of those labels are applied yet. Let's apply some of those labels. So let's say we wanted to rate this 5 stars. We just press the 5 key on the selected image, and then I could flip to the next image. And let's say we do 4 on this, and we're gonna do 4 on this. Let's do 5 on this wedding photo. And you can just go through and rate these. You can also continue going up the scale. 6, for example, is red label, 7 is yellow, 8 is green, etc. And so you can do that. You can also click down below and just click on an image to add the rating or to select a label. Now, let's go back to here. Remember, at any time when you're in this thumbnail mode, which is the G key, will take you into this grid mode. And you can actually see that here. We're in the library mode or the grid mode. And we can switch quickly between the different modes, which is kind of how Lightroom works, making it different from Photoshop. And honestly, pretty quick to learn because of it, because we can just switch the module that we want to be in depending on how much we want to do or what we want to do to the photos. Remember that you can just press the space key when you're in this grid library mode and bring up a full screen mode. If you have your thumb strip hidden, you can just scroll down and it will pop up. Or if you have the thumb strip click down here to hold it open on this little point right here, it will hold open and you can kind of see where you're going and just scroll back and forth on your thumb strip. And you can still do all those rating controls and all that kind of stuff. So now you're in this mode and you can zoom in. And whether you're in this mode or you're in the grid mode, you do have access to basic develop settings, presets, white balance, exposure, things like that using quick develop. Now, I don't generally use this on individual photos, but it can be great for doing batch edits. So let's say I selected this, and then I could shift and select this whole row, or I could select another image by holding Control, or deselect an image by holding Control. From the quick develop, whether I'm in the grid mode or in this zoomed in mode, I can have all of these working together. We'll talk about editing in this mode a little more and some of these settings of these windows. Let's go back to this grid mode real quick though, and let's say we wanted to apply a preset. So I'm gonna go to my Filmist film pack that you can get over at SymeFX.com, and I'm just gonna go down and say, let's put Portra 400 Gen 2 on this, and I just click it and it's gonna apply Portra 400 to all those images. I can also click anywhere else on another image to deselect those, and I could select a couple images and say, well, these need to be lightened up a little bit, and maybe we need to take this one and we need to darken it a little bit. So you can quickly select groups of images. This is what I call a grid edit, where you can use the quick develop. Mostly I use this for exposure, where you can select one or a group of images quickly and adjust settings on any of those selected images. So you see that as a group, I can quickly go up or down on these. Now, if you look here in the quick develop, the 2 arrows is 1 full stop up or down, and the single arrows are a 3rd stop. And this works the same basically on anything else. And you can actually access sharpening and saturation versus clarity and vibrance by hitting Option or Alt and change that around, as well as hit the reset button to reset everything. So we have our images in, we're doing some quick edits, we know how to rate, to add some colored labels. Lightroom is pretty simple to use if you just kind of relax and take it step by step. We've done some ratings, we've done some very basic quick edits, and we can go much further than that as we get into the develop module. We will, but I just wanted to kind of introduce you to the basics so you can quickly jump into a workflow that's efficient, like I talk about in a lot of my videos, and get that speed editing going. If you need to do a batch or an event or something like that, you can quickly sort through and rate and label. And now we can go in and we can put into collections. We can sort and filter those photos by their labels. We can add keywords if we want, but I'll show you that in the next video. We'll see you there.